Hello everyone, welcome back to the lab. I just finished LCS 6 and like everyone being watching me on the stream, me playing doing the LCS. Yeah, this weekend I decide to pilot Infernoble again, same as the last LCS to have a fun for the weekend. It's very so see the ban list just kind of nerfed the deck quite a lot and let me talk about why. There's a lot of people asking me why do I choose nobles and dragons for the tournament, right? There's a very simple reason. The ban list just hit 2 weeks ago, and both Jet and Olan got banned. No one really know how the deck works. If you remember me playing dragons, I was the one who figured out dragons at the me and my like other Chinese friends figured out the dragons in during February, like January February time for the meta where the balance kills everything, and we just no one knows everything what could be good, and Spiral was popular, and I figured out dragons and won the UDS with it. So yeah, so this format, like right after this ban list, the first like motivation I have was I kind of want to just play nobles just to be the one to figure out the deck again, to figure out the format again, because that does feel good. Like everyone know, I've been playing LP more than anyone during 2020 already, because I started way earlier than everyone. So to be honest, got bored with dragons already. The deck hasn't changed since June, and it's been the whole summer. And yeah, you don't want to see like the same deck, same profile again, 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 where there's literally no changes, right? The changes you see are like the swapping hand traps. It's not really even changes. Therefore, I decide to trying to be the one that figure out nobles, and that's why I pilot nobles to this tournament. Even and include the tournaments. Gabe's Remote Duel League a couple days ago. I won that one. I went like second Swiss and won top eight, top four, top finals. This weekend I went X2. I have 2 round bye. Then I won the next 2 rounds. Lost the 2 rounds at the end of day one. Then won the 2 rounds day two, and top 16. I didn't really lose to my opponent, lost to myself. I will be cover. I'll be covered later when I get to more details to like how this weekend went. So yeah, it's a long intro. So I guess without further ado, let's start with what's really in the deck. What's really special about it. So obviously, one of my kind of favorite card in the deck, Gearfree. It just it's it's like the Lovenier in Dragons. Like it's the boss monster that's in the main deck. That's like relatively accessible. And what's my like? Whenever I get to like turn three or turn past turn three, the strategy just give free beatdown. Like this card, single card handles Dragoon, handles quite a decent amount of monster, where majority of other cards in that cannot. So yeah, that's the reason I play. See, it is a good card. It's also like serving the purpose of defending yourself from the hand traps. The downside is you will see what else in the deck, and I can't really afford drawing too many of them. That's one, and don't want to just give up from by the other cards I played in deck. So I knew it's cutting it down to one. It is sometimes bricky, and there's still like enough access to it without having multiple copies. So I think one's enough for at least my build. To Renault, I was at one, and I bumped it to two. I swapped like a Fire Flame with Renault because I want to play multiple copies of every Infernobles due to some special cards that if you saw me playing the tournament, you will know it already, but we haven't get there yet. Uh, to Archer, similar reason as Renault. A solid normal summon. That's it. It's your way to access Gearfree. 3 Oliver, very few tuner warrior extender in the whole deck, although I've been normal summoning it quite a lot, or Starro is it by minusing myself. So it's if you play too less of it, you don't see it often, and you don't have like a good tuner extender with like for whatever combo. If you play too many, you somehow just start with like you have to start with it too often, and that's also not good. I'm in a weird spot, but my build I just don't think I can afford like cutting a low anything. Gemba, if you watch any of the combo video I posted earlier in the channel, you will know Gemba is the middle 2 combo partner, and it's just needed. Uh, and the mill 2 is the only combo where you can put out like a negate before you get to fiber. So I think that's very valuable to force out a lot of hand traps. It never really like let me make a thing to really defend a hand trap after. It just force out the hand traps. 2 red layer, Fire Warrior Extender. One of the best one. Easy out to either Ecclesia or Absolute Zoe is 2 or less. Farfan, it was at 2. It was at 3 like way long time ago. I cut it down to 2 because I just want to have balance out the names, like because they all once per turn. And it was cutting it down to 1 because I realized it's just another warrior. It's not a tuner. Like him not being a tuner sucks a lot, like quite a lot. So yeah, these are the Fire Warrior non-nobles. Connectors and Dolphins. Let's be real. Playing with my opponent's hands revealed feels good. And there's more than just these 5 that do that in my deck once we get to the spell part. Um, the reason I play 2 Dolphin, because like I do want to access them as often as I can. If I open was like Connector Dolphin, I can do like Connector summon the first Dolphin, Dolphin pitch the Dolphin, then Connector the second Dolphin, back Dolphin again. Something like those. Um, you will realize more when I get to the spell part. Then the new tuners. There's a one and Cohen. Let me see. There's a one is kind of the new Jet Synchron. That's the majority target you summon from Fiber. Cohen's the new O-Lion. It's not a tuner. It's a hard brick. You have no combos if you draw it. You have no combos if there's no copies left in the deck for Aurodon. So I decided just to play 2. A lot of people asking me why I'm not playing like one Cold Wing, one Plague Spreader to put it back, or Armageddon Eye, or those, right? The thing is, Access 001 is so important to a point where you just can't, like, there's no way to summon your Plague Spreader of what? Fiber. And so, see, there are 2 ways to access Plague Spreader, right? One is from Fiber, but Fiber is so important to access 001, you just can't really literally can't do that. The other way is soul some Armageddon Knight and mill the Plague Spreader, which at that point you don't have tuner to make. You either don't have tuner to make Fiber, or you have to force to use the Plague Spreader, or it's like mill 4 also just costing a lot of spaces in the deck. When you are able to, we want to constantly mill 4 actually destroy you have to play a very huge amount of equip spells along with Power 2 Dragon that I'm playing. So also like if you raw draw Plague, it's as bricky as a Cohen, almost as bricky as a Cohen. If you raw draw Armageddon Knight and you don't have more cards with it, it doesn't even make it sold. And at that point, you're making a fiber by minusing you so hard because Plague just send all your hands back to the deck. And if you want to use Armageddon Knight to make is sold, you have to play a PK Boots and a Shea Brigading. Shea Brigading is very fucking good. I actually like the card, I just don't have space for it. But PK Boots is another brick, as bricky as Cohen. So therefore, it's like you're playing more bricks and also taking way more spaces just to cover another brick. Why don't you just play 2 Cohen, right? I feel like this way is just making more sense and more efficient of saving spots in the deck. Because I also want it down to 40, and that's it for the monsters. And next were the spells. Spells are a little bit kind of interesting. Rhoda, Chalice, Durandal, obvious. Don't need to really explain. It's a Infernal Warrior deck. The equipped spells are the interesting lineup. Phoenix Blade, Smoke Grenade, 1 DDR, Thin Living Fossil. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about like triple DDR, things like those, and I do covered in the first combo video I made. There are situations, quite often honestly, where only the Living Fossil works because you either have to revive a non-warrior level 2 in the graveyard where your Phoenix Blade cannot banish, or you just don't even have access to Phoenix Blade at all, and DDR just heartbreak at that point. I lost my top 16 game 1 due to the fact I opened 1 Living Fossil and have to pitch it with Oliver, Then my Power 2 Dragon has only a 67% chance to hit the Living Fossil, and I failed it. That's why I couldn't end with 2 negates, and I only have 1. So my board got like kind of traded, and at that point, and just started grinding into like turn 3 and Vizar, and I got like kind of outgrinded OTK that the turn after. Yeah, so that was how unfortunate I died. There are also like it is true, Living Fossil is once per turn, so if you draw multiple copies, you really not gonna do anything with the second copy. But on the other hand, how often are you really resolving multiple DDRs at the point where you can't even get to a soul yet, right? That's one. Two is like, at least this is, the fossil is less bricky than DDR, and how often are the chances you drawing 2 living fossils? So yeah, that's what's called the equip spells. Next are the cards that people didn't really expect it. I play 3 Exchange, 3 Drag Down, and Midbreaker. Midbreaker is kind of obvious. It's being played quite a lot. It's the best like anti-hand traps in existing that's possible. It completely prevents imperm. It cuts gamma into like half of its power. It cuts gamma back. It cuts like gamma down to like an ash, pretty much. And that's just how good it is. And it shuts off Ogre. It shuts off Valor. The only thing it doesn't really cover is Nibiru, but if Nibiru is the only hand trap you're playing around, then it's really not a big issue at all. You can easily force it. That's it, right? Like that's how good Midbreaker is. That's why it's limited. Drag Down Exchange. That's the funny part. So before I really talk about it, I did make a video a couple weeks ago, like probably almost a month at this point. Which is this one, like you will see on the screen, everything about hand traps, about crossout and crossout detonator. Yes, the topic is not about crossout detonator. It's about crossout detonator. It's not about exchange or drag down. However, I do mention these two in the video, where if you are pay attention to my Facebook post, earlier this week I made a post saying it's funny to say, but I got inspired by my own video that I made by myself, which is the exact reason what I was talking about. I got inspired by just remembering, oh yeah, drag down and exchange are just better cards in terms of defensive from hand traps, especially much better than 3T. There's always a law where instead of trying to react after interruption happens, it's always better to just prevent interruptions. And this is exactly the reason why. Like, what's really your 3T stopping? Your 3T is always stopping the second hand trap. Assume the first one's not even imperm. And majority of the deck, like, how should I say it? You don't guarantee able to play into the first hand trap in the format. Depends on what the hand trap is. If the first hand trap is surprisingly like nib or gamma, then your 3T is most likely not even able to cover you back. If you are able to recover from like a nib or gamma, then you probably don't even need 3T at that point. Like even you 3T, you are just being saved from the second hand trap, and majority of the time I die from the first one, and 3T just being absolutely garbage in my hand, and I just don't even think it's worth playing in at least my deck. So I I find out 2 more like aggressive 3Ts while being more active and not reactive, which are these. Uh, there are downside. I couldn't play hand traps because it feels kind of stupid to pass your opponent and the hand trap by exchange while you try to defend yourself from hand traps, right? So by playing exchange, I couldn't play any hand traps. I thought about playing Dark Ruler. Dark Ruler is fine because if I full combo, I can smoke grenade rip the Dark Ruler. But on the other hand, I don't see myself really joining Dark Ruler. I don't see myself really resolving Dark Ruler even I played it, so I just didn't even try it. There are 7 very strong hand trap, anti-hand trap card in my deck. I think whenever I went first, I didn't drop any game besides the ones I was like hit the unfortunate percentages that which I can't even like prevent it at all. For majority of the game, I just start with like, there are 3, 6 plus the three connected to Dolphin, right? So there's 11 cards plus the Rhoda, because that's another connector. That's 12 cards saying I can start my turn with just looking at my opponent's hand. Things I can do, since I did very often, was like set Durando, set Chalice, activate Drag Down, get rid of one hand trap, I exchange, took the second one, and flip both full combo, which I actually happened to be a couple times during the tournament. And yeah, this is just how I view the deck. Why I'm trying to go this super aggressive going first build, because I don't see myself winning either first or second while I was testing earlier. And I was like, if I can guarantee both, I mean, guarantee both is very hard in any format. If I can't guarantee both, let me guarantee at least either of them. And if I want to guarantee going second, then I'll probably play like what? Invoke Dogma with 15 hand traps. It's probably, yeah, you have to like at least have 12 hand traps to even do that. But what's the other spectrum? If I want to guarantee myself winning going first, then I just play this build. As long as I'm winning every single dice roll, I can have super amazing advantage for the entire tournament. However, I didn't win any single dice roll until I get to Top Gun. So I was lucky on the other part for other things, not the dice rolls. So yeah, this is the main deck. I really like the main deck. There's literally not many bricks in the deck. Like the only bricks are those hard ones like Smoke Grenade, 0-1, and Colwyn. But you just have no way to even prevent, because those are sort of engine piece anyway. So yeah, this is the main deck. 40 cards, 40 cards, 0 traps, 20 monster, 20 spell, no hand traps. Yeah, and what do I do if I lose dice roll going first? Well, hopes and dreams. Just win dice. That's it. Just win dice. Then extra deck. Isolde, 2 fiber, cross Orodon. These are the links. I'm still not a fan of playing 2 Isolde because I've never seen myself really making it. Also, the extra deck is super tight. And what else? I cut access because I just need to fit that many synchro monsters. 2 fiber comes out a lot. I made a second fiber almost as often as Isolde, to be honest. So yeah, I definitely value fiber more than Isolde. This is still just a fiber deck instead of Isolde warrior deck. So as like I'm not playing Goki, so I don't need Isolde much of the time. Roland Charles, standard boss monster. Power 2 is kind of, you either play Violent Sphere with specific equips, or you play Power 2 with a lot of equips. And I decided to choose Power 2 because I don't think the extra equips that play like Living Fossils really hinder me at all. I think having those, honestly, if I have 4 Living Fossils in the deck, I will want the game 1 because I guarantee the Living Fossil after drew 1. So I don't mind playing too many equip spells. Tatsunoko for the mill 2 combos. Formula and Marcher, obviously. Formula, you need it for some combos, like the Mill 4 and Mill 1 combos, where you don't have access to Gamba. So this will be the level 2 tuner you need, and the level 2 tuner revival with Living Fossil later. Which at this point, it doesn't even work with Phoenix Blade or DDR. That's why I also like, what's called, Living Fossil is better in my opinion. Arclight and Quandax. Arclight, obviously, it's just your ending board. Quandax is it's a fun one. Some specific combo just require a level 4 synchro tuner, and I figure Quandax probably the best one. It really doesn't matter which one you play because you just always get instant linked. But Quandax does have like synchro outside your opponent's turn effect, so you can fiber tag on into Quandax, and Quandax instantly synchro into some random things in the deck, which can happen, but it didn't really happen that often. I do summon this quite often in my turn for some specific combos. Like single fiber combo, you just need this for you just need the Quandax for a specific step. And if you don't have it, you just don't end your board nicely. Then also Omega and Savage, standard extra boss monster. There are sometimes where I do summon both, like I do need 2 level A's. And obviously my tokens, 2 level 1 striker token for Link Cross, 3 Mecha Phantom Beast for Orodon, and Nibiru for Nibiru. I really want to have access Code Talker. I think there are a couple games I could win if I had access Code Talker. but there's just really no space, and I have no idea what to cut. And second, if like for that one game, if I could win with Axis, I also just can. If I didn't hit the unfortunate percentage part, then I just didn't need Axis code. So if you play normal, then it should be fine. Then the side. Well, obviously I don't have hand trap in the main, so there's the side is filled with hand trap. Nibiru, Gamma, and Empire. The best hand traps in the format. Nibiru obviously the most impactful. Gamma, because I'm low on I'm low like in terms of quantity, so I want to have high on quality. That's why Gamma. Imperm is just another one that's hard to be answered and good as a pair with the other two. Also play around 3T. So yeah, that's the hand trap line on the side. Then the back row of Duster, Revu, and Evenly. I was changing between Evenly and Lightning Storm, and I realized Storm just really shit against everything that's like outside the back row decks, where there's not even that many. Against the back row decks, Evenly and Storm are almost the same, but Evenly sometimes even works against like the combos, where if you do open like multiple of them, it can maybe even resolve. And if it does resolve, it's actually kind of decent against combos. Because like maybe you can do like the first hand trap, make their board kind of smaller, but and then try to clear it evenly. That can happen theoretically. I mean, I have more deck cards I want to set out in the main anyway, so might as well. I can't really afford to cut the evenlies for 3 more hand traps. I mean, that will improve slightly higher for the combo matchup, but at the same time, it will make my control matchup be almost just a buy. Like I have no way to defend the back rows unless I drew like Bisaki and drew these, right? So I just can't. I was like that. Like I just have to have even like 5 is already very minimum. If I can, I want to play like 6 or 7. So yeah, so that's pretty much just the side deck. Usually when I go second, let me see. Usually when I go second, there's quite a lot of cards like kind of dead going second. Exchange is obvious dead. What you want to take from your opponent where they already put everything on the board, right? Connector Dolphin serves almost the same logic where there's nothing really matters in their hand, but more matters on their board. Here's like already 8 cards and possibly even drag downs for some matchup. So does Mythbreaker. Like I'll keep Mythbreaker against like Dogmas or whatever, but against like Dragons, they're nothing destroyed. It just all negates or bounce like Sphere. Dragon is sometimes I keep all of them in because worst case it serves as upstart. It can even rip like Further East, but sometimes it's just like I think I have to prioritize other things. Other possible things are I will set an Archer, so I lower the amount of normal summons. Um, that's it, actually. I never side out any equipped spells because that backfired me before. Even Smoke Grenade, I just need that many in the deck for both its sold and the power to being resolving. So yeah, this is pretty much the main and side deck. There are a couple changes I made before the tournament or like the week before when I was building it. I mentioned Cold and Plague Spreader Armageddon Knight. I cut a Stoleful. I really, I really don't like the card. It's a special summon, but it's only a warrior special summon. It's not a tuner special summon. So if my Isolde gets stopped, a Stoleful doesn't help me going to like what's after, like Fiber. Therefore, I just don't think I know it's just cutting a Stoleful. It's also like not something you want to draw, it's something you want to search, and that I kept drawing that fucking card, so I just that. There's some people asking why do I play 40 over 60. I just don't think Noble Knight can play 60. Even last format. Like, there's just not enough extender existing in the card pool for you to play 60. And you don't really get any advantage. Like, if you really want to build your deck with like 60 and like 14, 15 hand traps, at this point you're just playing a larger version of 40 card deck because the ratio are the same. So I just don't see myself playing the 60 version. Like you just have like more copies of every single card, but ultimately it's you drawing every single thing at the same percentage. Also, like there's not enough good cards for you to make it 60, so you're gonna throw in bad cards. At the end, the ratio for the bad cards are maintained the same anyway, so it really doesn't benefit you. Like you draw the individual bad one less, but you in total you draw the bad cards in the same percentage, so it really doesn't matter. Um, for the hand trap of the format, I don't. Let me see. Like the hand trap by choosing my side are the ones I think it's like sort of the best one in terms of what I can play. But at the same time, I just when I play like 3 or 6 hand trap in the main before with Noble deck, I don't see myself winning going second either way. See, playing three, if you play only 3 gamma, you have only 33% chance to opening one. And out of those 33% chance, what are the percentage you really like winning by just single gamma stop your opponent? What are the chance? Like, is there half? Is there like 80% of those? If even we take like a good percentage, like 80% of the time you single gamma and are able to stop your opponent, which does sounds already unreal, but let's calculate that. 80% out of the 33, which is like 24, 20, 26.4. So about like a quarter. That means playing 3 gamma only gonna benefit you a quarter of the games you play, with assumption of 80% of the time a single gamma can stop your opponent. Which ain't realistic. Single gamma stopping your opponent is definitely not as high as 80%. It's probably dropped low as low like 50, 60 at most. At the same time, it's if it's 50, 60, you only have like what 15, 16 to less than 20% chance of even winning, going second. At that point, like playing 3 gamma just counterproductive in my opinion. It brick yourself whenever you're going first drawing it. And going second, you're not really winning with it. So at that point, if I can play like 12 hand traps, I just don't even play any hand trap. It's just either or. Like going to the extreme in the spectrum always get you something at least. If you stay in the middle, usually it just both sides counterproductive to each other. So that's my reason to just say no hand traps in the main. Because like after siding, I will have 9 hand traps, which is the most I can get, which is still a fair number for guarantee going first. Because I won't have issue breaking with these going first. But uh, but at the same time, if I talking about Ming deck, I just really don't see myself able to do that. I like there's no crossout existing. If we do have like crossout designator existing, then you're forced to run some hand traps for the target for your crossout. At that point, these are good targets because you also get to draw them. You also have a chance to draw them. So that's like good on deck building. That's actually why I do like crossout very much. It's just unfortunate it haven't even made to TCG. I think that's pretty much it for the profile. I was relatively very glad I got the result with it because it's a very hard gamble. It's go hard or go home, that type of thing. I don't think it will even work for majority of people who's net decking this one, since for LCS I do get to run by. Therefore, I'm taking less risk for compared to anyone who is piloting the if they are piloting the same list. So that just like pretty much me. Pretty much, I didn't go to the tournament. I went to the casino and I just throw coin as hard as I can into the slot machines. I hope they hit. That's my thought. And somehow I do lose every single dice roll and I still make the top cut, which is very surprising. Uh, yeah, so I guess that's just pretty much the main deck. I think I will make a part two of the profile, which I want to kind of commentate a couple of the games I actually played during the tournament. Because there's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention my tournament. So there's one round. I think the first round I play the Mech and Volk. The guy let me go first, and I play into 4 hand traps from his hand. So his hand was Nip, Gamma, Ogre, Imperm, and I played it and I full comboed him. So yeah, I think people will probably be interested in watching that one, like watching my thought process when I was kind of shocked after looking at his hand and saw 4 hand traps. So yeah, that will be a very exciting part two. And if you like this profile, if you keep following, pay attention to the channel. You will definitely see it very soon. And if you like this build, if you think this is like a good sort of what a good call for how Noble Knights could be, I mean, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and congrats, Formats Ruined. And yeah, I will see everyone in the lab in the future. See ya.